Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about a very significant development here in the stock market. So I wanted to put out this video. I'm kind of doing it really late Friday night. Actually, it's already past midnight, so I guess technically it's Saturday morning here. But normally I don't look at the SPX too much because I mostly look at futures, but I really wanted to show this is very, very important. So we're looking at the weekly chart for the SPX, the S&P 500 index. This is the weekly chart. And look what we got going on here, guys. Two spinning tops. Let me just make this bigger. So this is a big deal because I think we'll get more confirmation next week for sure. And we're also going to look at the futures here to get the cycles, but we'll do that in a minute, in a little bit here. But for right now, it's really important to understand that I believe there's at least a good chance that the market is topping, and we may see a behavior change here in direction. Now, of course, like I said, we need confirmation, but we already have 2 weeks here of spinning tops. This is very telling. Now, we've had market do pullbacks before, and you can see stuff like this has happened. And up here, you had two candlesticks that weren't really spinning tops, but whatever, they kind of ran out of gas and pulled back just 1 week and took off again. So that's why we need some more confirmation here to make sure. But this is really important because there's a difference with these candlesticks, right? Let's go back pretty far here. There isn't one time going all the way back to even to April of 2021, which is way over here. There isn't one time we see two spinning tops together. I'm just looking, that's one spinning top and the other one is not. Okay. None of those are really spinning tops. This is a spinner, but it's not at the top. There's a spinning top. You see it right there? And look what happened to the market right after that. Okay, here's a couple candlesticks. Not quite spinning tops. They tried to do that, but they weren't. So this is really the first time, at least in the last 2.5. We'll look at 1, 2. Yeah, coming up on 3 years, right? 1, 2, 3 years, right? That we haven't seen two spinning tops like this. So this is a pretty big deal, and I think we're going to see I'm going to just say it right here now. I believe we're going to see the market begin to really weaken here. We might begin to see some serious pullbacks even as early as next week. Okay, I'm going to keep a very close eye on this because the signs are definitely there. We've been getting divergence like crazy. Here it is on the SPX, and we're going to look at the futures here in a few moments, and we see the same thing on the futures. A lot of divergence going on. The MACD's been blistering way up here in the 190s. Absolutely just ridiculous how bloated and ballooned the market is. So at some point it's gonna have to give it up. So okay, let's switch over to futures. We'll talk a little bit about the cycles, and we'll also talk about, now that I believe the market is going to pull back, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start, I don't trade options, I trade futures. So for me it's much easier. I don't have to pick strike prices and pick specific expirations, and I don't have to worry about decay. I just don't deal with it because I trade futures. But I know some of my members and a lot of other people out there do trade options. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because a lot of options, one of the things I notice about option traders is they always want to know something. They really, really want to know something ahead of time, right? Because options require you to plan ahead. They really, really want to know things like, particularly price. Options traders are, just what's the word I'm looking for? They are, not, I don't want to say fascinated, but they're, for lack of a better word, they're always really concerned about price. Okay, as a futures trader, I don't really worry about price. I just trade the trend. I talked about this in another video. I do use price to kind of for support and resistance areas to get in and out of trades. So from that perspective, I do kind of concern myself with price a little bit, but not like options traders. They're like super concerned. Anyway, I mentioned all that because now is not the time just to go crazy and start shorting the market, right? Because you need confirmation first, and we don't have that yet. So I just want to put that out there, that I wouldn't get ahead of the market. It's a bad idea. Just trade the market that's in front of you. I've always said that for the last few years. That's the way I trade. Just trade the market that's right in front of you. And right now, the market's still bullish, but it's showing some signs of weakening. And we got to wait for confirmation to see if it's going to pull back. But I think it's going to pull back. The signs are there. It's going to be pulled back. It's better to at least be prepared for it. If you got some wacky positions that you're holding on to that are long, you might want to scale them back. I would be cautious, right? Stuff like that. You just need to start thinking about that in your trading plans, okay? All right, let's go switch over to the future because I want to talk about the cycles. We'll look at the weekly and the daily, and we'll also just talk about some key support areas because we got plenty of support areas to talk about. There's lots of those going down. Yeah, so there's that one, really nice. There's this one, and there is this one. There's even this one over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 5 cycles on the weekly chart here, they all had a decline on this green cycle, okay? Now I'm mentioning that because it's this June 16th cycle looks like, I think there's going to be a significant cycle low out here in June. I mean, that's just what I'm seeing here. I don't see how you can get around that. I don't see. Okay, this one's this one's kind of odd. There may be a cycle in here somewhere that keys off this big low, but yeah, that's this one maybe. So there's something there on June 16th. There may be another cycle in here that keys off this one back here in October of 2022. But we can always talk. I can always figure that cycle out later to see if there's one there. I probably tried it a few times already. But yeah, June 16th stands out to me. So I'm not going to change that. I like that cycle. That cycle still looks very valid to me. Let me just look at this little blue cycle now to see if it makes sense. Okay, so now we're looking at the little blue cycle. So these green and blue happen to coincide together. So that's fine. But see, there was one right here. See this? There was actually a little one right here. In this massive run-up, we got a... See, this is why cycle analysis is so powerful. It's hard to hide a cycle. Even in this massive, extremely bullish run that's been going on for 20 weeks, I guess, something like this, you still had this red candlestick that showed up right on this cycle. See, it's hard to hide cycles, man. It's just hard to hide it. And guess what? We get right here, and what do we get? We're coming right up on it. Right, and the market's starting to show some weakness here. So we'll see if this comes into play at all. All right. There's another one right here that coincides with this green one, but the blue one coincides. Look at this one. Here's one in the blue. Here's another one in the blue. Okay, this is the green one that comes into play. Not much going on here in this blue one. There's right here, this blue one, bam. There's a big green lower wick right here, bam. There's these two candlesticks right here, bam. This blue cycle is just absolutely, the only one it didn't really do was this one. And that one's not so good. But all the rest, okay, we can erase that one because that one's still in the future a little bit. Okay, you know what I'm going to do here? I always do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Out of 11, 9 of them had price declines down into these blue cycles, okay? Some of them were very significant. Some of them were a little less significant. But nevertheless, we've got declines in there. This is just really basic cycle analysis. This is not, did what was the nature of the cycle? Was it very bullish and just came down at the end? Was it very bearish, rose in the beginning and fell all the way? I'm not even getting into the nature of the cycle, just talking about whether or not there was a cycle there at all, right? Keeping it super simple here. And the answer is yes. 9 times out of 11, this blue cycle has been spot on. So I have reason to believe March 31st is going to show us something. Okay. And then June 16th, I think, is going to be more significant. Now, there's some other stuff in here, maybe. Yes, I do watch some other cycle analysis by some of the best. The Ask Slim team, I watch their analysis. And they have some stuff out here like kind of April, May. So that would be right in the middle of this cycle, May 6th. Right here, kind of in the middle of this cycle would be their low point. And that may turn out to be true. Okay. But right now, just looking at the weekly chart, these dates still look really valid to me. So I'm not going to change that. Okay, we'll stick around because we're gonna look at the daily here in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about these supports. Okay, so now that we believe that the cycles are still valid, I think they are valid. Both the green and the blue still look good to me. I have no reason to believe that they're bad. They still look valid. Let's talk about these supports. So right now, today, the end of this week finished at 51.8325. And when we'll look at the daily, man, there were some opportunities today and this week. Oh my gosh, there were some serious opportunities that a lot of money was made. But here on the weekly chart, 51.83. Let's see, 200 points puts us at about 5,000, a little less, and 400 points puts us about 4,800. Okay, so I can easily see 48.69 probably is reasonable. I shouldn't say easily, but it's reasonable. That's about 400 points. That's less than 400 points. Okay. All right, 183. Yeah, if it was 69, I think that would be 9. Yeah, it would be 300 points. So this is only about 300 and whatever. 14 points down to this, something like this. Okay, so I think 300 points is probably, that's conservative. That's what I'm really hinting at. So I think 40.69, this support down here will happen, and then there's this 49.37 is kind of a key spot. Because there's 3 candlesticks that make up this support. This is 2, and this one's 2. They're not as strong. Okay, so let me stretch this out a little bit here vertically, and I'll talk to you about where I think the strongest supports are at. Because they're really obvious. So you got these 3 candlesticks right here. The bottom of them, these are fairly close. So I'm ballparking 49.37. So that's going to be one of the key supports. This 50.63's got no chance. It's gonna blow right through that. The 49.37 might get a little pause there, but I believe it's gonna go below that. 48.69, I don't think it's gonna be too much trouble. But this 47.02 would be the next big support. So those are the 2 key ones, 49.37 and 47.02. That would be the most sticky places for the market to have a hard time getting through. Okay, but all these are the supports. Okay, the closest ones, but there's other supports. I mean, you can see them down here. Here's this one's kind of there too, but this one's a big one. This will be another sticking point right down here. This is as low as 45.44. Don't know if we'll get that low. That's pretty far down there. That would be like 700. 45 and 5, yeah, probably 700-ish points. Yeah, a little more than 700 points. So we may not see that. Okay, but if we start getting down this area, I have no problem coming here and drawing the next support. We'll keep everybody up to date and keep all you members. Which, by the way, if you want to become a member, stick around to the end of the video. I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to show the hourly chart today. You guys are going to freak out how good the hourly chart was on the cycles. freak out. I traded the hourly cycle and made some good money because of it today. Okay, so those are the kind of the key supports and doing this special video here. I think the market's showing weakness. I think there's a decent chance we're going to see the market get weak and pull back. We'll know more in this week coming up, right? This week, next week. Once again, we got a really key week because we're just, it's the same pattern, right? We're looking for confirmation. So far, confirmation's always been bullish. So we got to get another week or two under our belts to see what's going on, especially if we get like some really big red candlestick days and a big red candlestick week. That's going to be, starting to tell the story, right? Okay, let's look at the daily chart. All right. So here we go, 3 days down. Kind of that evening starish I don't know if it's a hanging man, no. Kind of evening stars, kind of looking doji back there a couple days back because that was Friday through Wednesday. And today we did get below this. This was a support. Okay, this was support right here. This candlestick and this bottom of these two candlesticks made support. Okay, not a very strong one, but it made support. And I just threw it up there approximately 51.81 as I took kind of an average at the bottom of these two candlesticks and came up with this number. And today it broke below that. Even this lower wick broke below that candlestick from 4 days ago. Okay. So I'm just looking back. As I look back on this daily chart, how often do we get candlesticks breaking below previous candlesticks? Well, it has happened, like back here it happened. And 3 up, and this one's done it, right? And no. So we've had it happen a couple times, but the market managed to survive them and take off again. So that's what I'm saying. We need that confirmation. Just a couple days down, getting below a candlestick. Yeah, it is showing weakness, but it's not enough to say, okay, this is, we got a trend change. Because I talked about this before. Look at this, 2 down, 2 down, 2 down. We'll call this basically 2 down, 3 down, 2 down. And here we go again. This may just be 2 down, a little dinky, a little dinky bull flagging off to the races again, right? That's why you don't get ahead of the market, guys. That's why I say you always got to trade the markets in front of you. Don't get ahead of it. Because this could just be faking us out. And the weekly, yes, looks like the weekly chart looks like it's giving it up, but we want that confirmation, okay? All right, so let's just look at these cycles here. Which the cycles admittedly have been a little bit difficult on the daily when you're just going straight up. It's you gotta really carefully look at your cycles. Because if you're just going straight up all the time, it's not so easy to see cycles. Let me see if I can get this to be, let's see, more on top would be this. Yeah, there we go, more on top, I think. Trying to find as much. Okay, I guess that's all. I guess that's as good as I'm going to get right now. Yeah, these cycles are just, yeah. Just bear with me here a little bit. Pretty good. A little long here, but still good. Good. Little long again, but still good. Little long. They're just sliding by because this is bearish. See how the cycles are all a little long and pushing past. Then as it gets bullish, you'll notice the cycles start to tighten up. See, it's over here. Now it's left of the cycle. And this is a stall, so that's a cycle low. A little left of it, right? You see how that works? Here is a good one. Okay, so yeah, they're there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of those 7 is pretty solid. I'm just looking over here to see what we got. The more recent times, that's pretty good right there. That's pretty good right there. This is early, or you could call that the cycle low right there. It's reasonable. Okay, so yeah, It's reasonable. It's within the realm of acceptable on the daily chart. So I'm not going to change it right now because it's, not super clear, but there's enough there for me to go on. So March 20th is okay. I think I'm going to keep it there for now. And I think that kind of lines up with the March 31st on the weekly chart. So it's still okay. The middle of this cycle would be April 2nd. So that's a date you want to keep an eye on too, because a lot of times, especially when the market gets weak, if the market gets weak, the middle of the cycle will become much more relevant. Okay, in bullish trends, they're not as, see how this one's right in the middle? See that right in the middle of the cycle? And this one's right here in the middle of the cycle, see it? Okay, this one's kind of in the middle of the cycle here and a little bit on the left side. But in bearish configurations, bearish trends, you'll begin to really, the middle of the cycle will really start to show up. You'll see things like dips like this, and then the market will come up and then dip again. It'll be like really obvious. But when it's this bullish, it's hard to see it. All right, so March 20th, April 15th over there, and I think over here is May 7th. I'm going to keep them there for now. These are the supports on the daily. And some of them are really close to the same as what we saw on the weekly. Here's that 5063 you saw on the weekly. Okay. The 4970, which you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different candlesticks make up this 4970. So like I said on the weekly, that's going to be a part, that that support area right there could be kind of sticky, and so could 5063. But I don't think 5063 has a chance. Up in this area, once it starts to pull back, it's going to obliterate these. It's going to blow right through them. The market's not going to do just a 200-point pullback. I don't think so. Okay, 5,200 would be, 5,000 would be about here. There's a tiny support here, but that ain't it. So this 4970, I think is going to be the first real test for the market right here at this 4970 number. That'll be a test for sure down in this area. And then the next big test will be this 4872, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks making up that base. All right, and then we'll talk about these if we get down there, okay, on the daily. Okay, let's finish up this video by looking at the hourly. I want to show you something absolutely amazing. Okay, this is the hourly chart. Now, on the hourly chart here, we're looking at several days here. This is a day, that's Friday. This is Thursday. This is Wednesday. This would be Tuesday, and this would be Monday, okay? And it goes back, that's Friday, going back next week, and so on and so forth, right? You all follow me? Okay, so let's just look at, we're just going to look at Friday, which is right in this area, okay? I'll blow it up and we'll zoom in on this. But what I want you to understand before I do that is look at the bottom here where the cycles are at. You see some green cycles and some yellow cycles here. The end of each day, okay? When the futures close at 4 p.m. my time and they reopen at 5, approximately during that time, I redo the cycles every day for the members on the hourly chart. Okay, so I redid these cycles right here on this for Friday. I did them like Thursday night. Okay, so let's zoom in on Friday. It's really important to understand these cycles were in place before the Friday they were done basically Thursday night, is what I'm really trying to say. Okay. So over here, there's a dashed line. You might not be able to see it, but this is where the future started right here. And this would be 5 o'clock. At the bottom there, you'll see it says 1700. Okay. So whenever this candlestick comes up, that's pretty much when I start looking at the cycles again. I prepare the cycles for the members for the next day on the hourly chart here. And this chart gets streamed live to the members, and also the 15-minute and the 5-minute chart. Okay, so why is this a big deal? So just imagine for a moment that you don't know any of these candlesticks. Just assume you don't see any of them. None of these candlesticks. It's just blank like over here. That's what I'm dealing with every time I redo the cycle. It's just a blank screen to the right. So I drew the cycles. Okay. So they look like this, right? They're just some cycles sitting out over here with no candlesticks. That's what this looked like. And I concluded that there was going to be a 3 a.m. a good chance the 3 a.m. would be a cycle low, and I conclude there's a good chance it'd be a 9 a.m. cycle low on Friday. This is Friday right here. F for Friday. Okay. And let's take a look. Was it accurate? Let's take a look. So right here is 2 a.m. This is a little bit off. It should be a little bit to the right just because I've been moving the charts around. So this was 2 a.m. This was the cycle low. You can see the these 3 small little candlesticks right here, right? All basically have very similar lower wicks. So right in this area is the low. I guess it's technically midnight, 1 or 2 are all pretty much the same right here. So I said the cycle low is going to be at 3. So guess what? This cycle low was forecasted before these candlesticks even showed up within 1 hour of the low. You can clearly see the market ran out of gas down here, right? Right in this area. Nice, right? I actually traded and did some scalp trading throughout a lot of these candlesticks, and they were both short and long. I don't remember what I finished the night at, but I think it was close to $600. Now the next one was 9 a.m. was the projected cycle low. Look at this candlestick, guys. This was at 8 a.m. and this was the 9 a.m. one. Look at the lower wick down here. The lower wick's way down here. So this is 9876. I was up at 645, I think. No, sorry, 620 or something like this. I got like 615, 620 in the morning. Because you'll see a lot of the London afternoon session, the London market trades, and the pre-market US are kind of co-mingling trading here. They're sharing the trading time in these few hours. And a lot of times you see a big, massive pullback. But I forecasted this based on cycle analysis, that there would be a cycle low at 9 o'clock. Lo and behold, bam. This lower wick, which is right here, was almost as low as the lowest part of the day. In other words, members, myself included, can take advantage of this information. So I traded this down into here. I think I got out like right here. I made, at that point, it's like $900 for the day. I just quit. Of course, I should have stayed in and made thousands, but whatever. You can't. I try not to think like that. I try not to look back and say I shoulda, woulda, coulda, because you'll just be just forever in a day. I kind of have my goals for the day, and that's what I tend to stick with. But I'm trying to show you the power of cycle analysis here, and I'm trying to show you what the members get. Right? I mean, look at this over here. Look at this. Right on the button. And again on the button. Okay? This is what members... Am I always exactly perfectly right? No. But these cycles have been really good quite often. Like, I don't know what the percentage is, maybe 70%, 80% of the time the hourly chart is really very good. So take advantage of it, take advantage of the membership. I mean, it's there, right? You're going to see here in a moment. Stick around to the end. I'll talk about the membership really quick. But, I'm making money on this. I know that other members are making money on this, and they're taking advantage of the streaming charts that are available, which includes this chart right here. Right, so if you do want to become a member, that's great. There is a discord.com link in the description right below this YouTube video. Okay, so make sure you read the instructions very carefully. Once you've done that, click on that discord.com link. It's going to bring you over to get a server. Then click on server shop. It's going to bring you to this page right here. $7.99, guys and gals. I mean, I can't even, the value is just crazy. It's a crazy good value. The streaming charts are down here, by the way. So when you join, you click on the streaming chart. You're going to get all three streaming charts, including the hourly chart that I just showed with the cycles on there. Okay, there's also my own indicator on there that's been really good about assisting when to jump into trades. Okay. So on the streaming charts, these charts stream 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Okay, they're streaming the S&P 500. And it's a 5 minute to 15 minute to 1 hour. And the indicator that I have, when it triggers that there might be a trade, it sends an alert to this channel right here. So all you got to do is right click on the S&P 500 alerts channel and turn notifications on. You'll get notified. Okay, I'm also streaming now. Just started streaming this week for members, gold. So you can also get this streamed. Now that's on a different server. So when you join, just ask me, hey, where's the link for the gold stream? And I'll give it to any paying member that comes in on this server, okay? And of course, you see the gold alerts are there too. Today was awesome. Gold was actually preceding the S&P 500. Gold was making the move first, and then the S&P 500 was right behind it, like within a matter of minutes. So they were in sync for quite a bit today. Not on every single last little minuscule move, but for some of the more pronounced moves on the 15-minute and the chart and the 1 hour chart, and even on the 5-minute chart, there was a lot of synchronicity going on there. But gold was slightly ahead of the S&P 500. That was extremely useful. I mean, when you start seeing behavior like that, I mean, that's just like, that's money in the bank. So anyway, the streaming charts are down there and the alerts go to there. Gold has its own stream up now. You can watch that as well. And the alerts come to here, okay? I put out premium symbols every day, Monday through Thursday. So you want to get those premium symbols, you look in here. If you want to get in the nightly email, every night, Monday through Thursday, I send out an S&P 500 chart, the daily chart with the support on there. Just like you saw today, the daily chart, when I looked at the daily chart for the S&P 500, that's what you're going to get every night. And I give my opinion about the market for the next day. And I've been pretty good about nailing the forecast for the next day quite often. And I don't see anybody else doing that. Almost nobody forecasts the next day because they're all too afraid. They know they'll get it wrong. They don't know how to do it. But I do it. So if you want that, okay, then when you join, put your email address in here. Do I get it right every day? No, of course not. Nobody gets it right every day, but I get it right quite often. Okay, and there's fixed income. I sometimes trade corporate bonds. If I do, I put that in there. And these are the member channels for all the chat comes. So, I mean, you get all this for $7.99 a month, okay? You're getting the streaming charts for both S&P 500 and gold. You get the alerts that go along with it. Okay, you get the premium symbols. You're getting the nightly emails, okay? A lot for $7.99. This is it. Only paying members get this. This is all these channels are closed to the public. They can't get in here. They got to pay. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the rules. If you join, you got to read the rules. And here is the please be nice to everybody else and be respectful on the server rules. No nasty posts. No nasty language. No nasty pictures or anything like that. I don't tolerate that. If you do it, I'm going to warn you. If you keep doing it, I'm going to kick you. If it gets really bad, I'm going to ban you. Okay. And please read the refund rules. I don't want anybody complaining about refunds. The refund rules are in there, okay? And also, lastly, there's a disclaimer in there that I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice. Everything on this server, no matter if it's me or anybody else that posts, and I don't care what they're posting, is strictly educational purposes only. And the same for this video, okay? You're responsible for your own trading, guys and gals, okay? Yes, I provide a service, but ultimately the responsibility is yours. This is strictly educational, okay? So use it to your benefit, all right? All right, I think that pretty much covers it. Hope everybody had a great week. I wanted to put out this video because I do believe the market's going to, there's a really good chance the market's going to pull back, and we're about to see a trend change, okay? All right, happy trading, everybody. I hope everybody has a great weekend. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.